Hey folks, it's been a while, and I'm happy to say that we've made it through 2020. Now, the racing season was pretty much canceled, and I didn't get a lot of building done, but I did buy a property with a workshop and a barn, and there's also a house on it, and those are going to become my project pretty much for the winter and hopefully for a little bit longer. I'll give you a quick walk around so you can see what I have and what I have in store. I'm still in the middle of moving, so I don't have all my tools up here or all my projects, but I wanted to give a small update to you guys. Now here's the basic building layout. We have the barn, which I just got the electricity working on again. We have the workshop, which again, I just got the electricity working. We have the carport, which still doesn't have any power. It's actually in pretty sad shape. We'll visit that first. And then back here, we have an old rail car. We have about 7 acres of land. And then in the very back there, behind the barn, is one more outbuilding. I'll give you a walk around. We'll start with the carport. It's not in great shape. It's kind of falling apart. It's got a lot of water damage on it. And right now, I'm just using it to store my trailer, little trailer that I picked up, cart trailer that I picked up this year. And that's pretty much how I've been moving things back and forth. So this is probably going to be the last building that gets real attention. Right now, it's just a covered space that I can store things in. So we're pretty much going to ignore that for now. And then, as we go from the carport behind me into the workshop, you can see this is about 2 weeks worth of work of just cleaning up all the trash that was in here, getting the electricity back on, and starting to sort through the stuff that came with it, which is really just a whole lot of bugs, some squirrels, some rabbits, and a bunch of mice. But now I think we're infestation free in this building, and I can start putting insulation back in, finishing up the wiring, hopefully finishing the wiring to code, and getting this place to work. One interesting thing about this building is the whole foundation isn't just cinder blocks or something like that. It's actually big I-beams, big steel I-beams. And they're not in great shape, but it's such an interesting building material that I'd like to keep it if I can. And it seems like it would be pretty stable. I've also played around with the idea of getting rid of the I-beams that are holding it up off the ground entirely and pouring a foundation and a slab underneath it. Haven't quite decided. That would be nice because I could put in a lift and all my heavy machine stuff could live in here more comfortably. It wouldn't put as much stress on the floor, but I haven't quite decided yet. So give me your thoughts in the comments. The second building to go through is the barn. And this is definitely the building that I'm the most excited about. It's in really, really good shape. It seems to be well built. It needs a little bit of build out, but I'm pretty comfortable with that. It seems very structurally ready for anything. And big selling point, we have a concrete slab for the floor. That's a huge deal. So one of the first things that I bought when I moved in here is this little tractor. I say little, it may not look little, but if you're familiar with tractors at all, you'll know this is woefully underpowered for any kind of real work. This is a late 1940s Ford 8N. I might talk about it more on the channel, but it's not really motorsports related, so I haven't decided. I guess if you're interested, put something in the comments below. It still needs some work. I haven't fired it up yet, but I got a really good deal on it, and it comes with a front loader. It comes with 2 front loaders. So I'll be able to put it to use pretty easily, regardless of how much work it needs. So basically, this is the barn. We have lots of storage up top. We have a second floor on both sides, and then we also have a third floor for additional storage. And those are all pretty sturdy spaces, so I can put some pretty big stuff back there. It's a good size as well. And we have running water in here, so I can install a shop sink if I want. Over here at the back of the barn, we have my train car. And I think this went from Delaware to Hudson, New Hampshire. Or it might have been to somewhere else. But it's a D&H car train. It doesn't have a floor, but I think it'll still be useful for some kind of project. Might just be good for like motorcycle and tractor implement storage. It's a nice dry space in there. So I'm going to keep that around. Maybe at some point I'll pour a slab under it, but right now I don't have any big plans. This is the pig pen that the previous owners were using. We're out in Danbury, New Hampshire, which is kind of western New Hampshire. It's very close to Vermont, and most of the land around here is farmland. But one of the big considerations for me was the availability of very fast internet. We have fiber optic internet here now, and that means I can work from home. And as a software developer, that's absolutely critical. It also means I can spend more time here on the property. If I have an extra lunch break, I don't need to drive to a workshop now and waste half of my lunch break just getting to the shop. I can just walk outside and change the oil on something or do a couple of quick welds or something along those lines. It's going to be really convenient having this space, but before I get to any projects, I'm going to have to fix it up a bit. It's a little overdue on some of its maintenance. Speaking of overdue on maintenance, we have, again, in the back of the barn, this little shed. It's basically just a wood shed that hasn't seen any love in a very long time. It's starting to rot. It might be worth saving. I haven't quite decided yet. We'll see. But the important part is, for anybody who wasn't paying attention to lumber prices this year, it does come with a fair amount of good dry lumber. And that'll save me a fair amount of money as I repair all of these buildings. Or maybe all of them. This is the one that's the most likely to get torn down. I think it may be beyond saving. I haven't quite decided yet. Once I get all the wood out of there and I can see what the building looks like, I can make a decision, but that's a little ways down the road. Down the hill just a little bit, we have the property itself. This used to be a field, but pretty badly overgrown right now. That's part of the reason I got the tractor, so that I can actually clean this up. It's going to take a while with that little tractor, but I'll be able to get through it. I may need to hire someone to do some of the heavy lifting, but overall, it looks wonderful for sheep or goats or dirt bikes or maybe go-kart cross or something along those lines. Something fun. Something fun is going to happen out here. But we'll get to that a little bit later once the maintenance is all caught up on the buildings. The final thing that I got to go with this house is this Dodge free truck. This was given to me by a friend. I'm probably going to send him some money as soon as I've recovered from the down payment on the house. But this is an old 2000 Dodge 1500 four-wheel drive. Kind of a perfect farm truck, a little beat up. It's got the lightweight mods. This actually runs very well. It needs a bit more love before it's 100%. But yeah, this is pretty much my winter vehicle right now, and it's been good. It runs fantastically. The only real complaint that I have with it is that it's a short bed, so I only have 6 feet back here, and I can't fit a full piece of plywood or whatever. But whenever I need to get lumber, I can just take the car trailer and strap it down on that. Oh yeah, also, it came with a house. You know, that was on the property too. So that's where my girlfriend and I get to live, and we get to enjoy the sights and sounds of living in the country. It's actually kind of wonderful. We've had coyotes screaming their heads off almost every night. We get a great view, and all along back there, you can pretty much see it from here. There's a rail trail, and that's all open to snowmobiles throughout the winter. So we get to hear people playing all day, as long as the weather is okay, as long as it's kind of conducive. Now, stick around for the next video because I found something on this property that is absolutely amazing. You're gonna love it. All right, stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.